Hey everybody, so what are you thinking about at the beginning of a speech? At the very, very, very beginning of a speech. So you're sitting down, you're listening to one of your classmates or somebody else give a speech. What are you thinking about at the very beginning there? The answer is you're probably not thinking about the speech, and you're probably not thinking about even the speaker for the most part because you've got your own personal thoughts, and that's normal, actually. The job of the speaker is to bring you into their world at the very beginning of the speech, and so that the fact that you're probably not thinking about the speech or the topic or the speaker even at the beginning is totally normal, and it's up to them to bring you into their world. And that's a great lead in for our topic today, which is attention getters. Attention getters are also known as hooks or attention grabbers. Some people call them, what else have I heard them referred to as? Appetizers. I've heard different terms for them, but normally we call them attention getters. I think a lot of your teachers might call them hooks in writing, but the idea is to bring people into your world. So a lot of times speakers will start off their speech by revealing their topic. So the first thing they'll do is they'll say, hey, my name is John and my topic is ping pong. And you could do that, and a lot of people do that, but it's better to have an attention getter before. So you start off, for example, you could talk about your topic without giving it away right away and then give it away. So create some mystery. So for example, you could say, today I'd like to tell you folks about a sport. This sport is played all over the world. It can be played indoors or outdoors. It's a sport that features very few injuries. It's not really expensive to play necessarily. The equipment is fairly affordable for the most part, assuming you can find a place. And it is an Olympic sport, which is amazing. And this is a sport that's one of the favorite sports of the character Forrest Gump in the movie Forrest Gump, starring Tom Hanks, that won an Academy Award. And anyone can play this game, pretty much, young or old, which is great. And like I said earlier, there's very few injuries. So, what is this sport that I speak of? I'm talking about ping pong. All right, so with that, what I did was I talked about the topic and then gave it away at the end. That's just one of many ways you can do an attention getter. You can do quotes, you can do pictures, you could tell a story, I had a student once that knew how to play guitar, so he took a song by Taylor Swift and rewrote the lyrics Weird Al Yankovic style, so it was about his topic, which was the mating rituals of tree frogs, even though the original song by Taylor Swift wasn't about the mating rituals of tree frogs. There are just so many different ways you can do an attention getter, but the idea is just to take a few seconds, usually it's less than 30 seconds, and do something with your topic that doesn't just give it away at the very beginning, because that tends to not bring people out of their world. That's why we don't suggest that. Having said that, you'll go to business meetings, you'll go to a lot of meetings in your life where people will come up at the very beginning and they'll say, hey, my name is, and whatever their name is, John, and my topic is corporate downsizing, or my topic is interest rates, or my topic is the war in Iraq. And that's fine, I guess. I mean, it works too. People do it, but it's just better to have an attention getter first. And so it's just a more professional way to do it. It sort of brings people in, and it's just an effective way. Now, you might have noticed that I have put up sample speeches. And like, for example, when it comes to the informative speech, I have a sample speech about chili peppers. You can watch the video of that in Canvas and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, where he doesn't just come up and say, hi, my name is Mike and my topic is chili peppers. Instead, he does an attention getter and then reveals his topic. So you could go ahead and take a look at that and get an idea of what I'm talking about when I talk about attention getters as well. It's a super creative thing to do. My one suggestion regarding attention getters that I wanted to recommend, like in terms of writing them, is don't write them first. Now, I know they come first on the outline and they come first in the speech and whatnot, so it's tempting to just start off your work that day writing the attention getter. But the thing is, the attention getter is kind of the fully creative part. It's the most creative part in a lot of ways of the speech, for an informative speech or a persuasive speech. And so it's better to write the whole speech and just leave that blank right at the top, or just write something, rhetorical question or something like a real simple attention getter. And then later go back and write your attention getter so that you don't have all that pressure at the very beginning of your writing job of coming up with a attention getter. Also, the attention getter will kind of just come to you as you're working on something else, or you might like write your speech and then you go and like you're walking your dog or take a jog, or you're out, take a shower or whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden the attention getter will just kind of come to you because it's a creative thing. So that's what we recommend, is that just don't put too much pressure on yourself as you're putting together your attention getter. And have fun with it. Make sure it's not too crazy. I had one student that heard me mention the example of the Taylor Swift example, and then he went and took a guitar, and then after he played the song on his guitar, he like busted the guitar up like he's a member of the Who from the 1970s or something, or the 60s, whatever. Those guys used to break up their guitars afterwards, and it kind of freaked out the audience. So yeah, it got his attention, but it was just a little too much. So just make sure it's creative but not too wild. And just have fun writing attention getters. Even the most important thing is to just have one. I mean, the first step is to just even have one. A lot of people don't have one at all in their speeches, and they just jump right to revealing the topic. So you'll be way ahead if you just have one. In fact, I think a lot of my students I've talked to, later after years of, being out of school, I'll run into them and they'll say that they've, have attention getters, and they are blown away by how few of their office workers, have attention getters in their speeches. They just skip it, don't have one in there. So, if you just have one, that's like already a step in the right direction instead of trying to have the perfect one. And then if you end up finding up something really creative, that's cool too. So yeah, have fun with attention getters and just, enjoy it and put it together. And I think if you even have one, it's a great thing. And then just let me know if you have any questions. I'm always here to try and help. Email me if you guys have questions using the Canvas system. Yay. All right, go attention getters.